I know I normally do commentary videos, but I wanted to do a dive into a game that is a very fond memory of mine during my childhood. So give this video a like and subscribe, but only if you enjoyed it. If I see that you liked this video and you lied, I will find you. I'm talking about this game not because of playing it, but because it eluded me. I love my PS2 games, and I'm sure you guys do too. I always loved ATV Off-Road Fury, GTA San Andreas, Gauntlet Dark Legacy, but there was one title to come from that era of gaming that seemed to be more problematic than almost all of them. So, let me tell you about Manhunt. During the early 2000s, Rockstar actually used to make games, believe it or not, before they were printing money by having kids use their parents' credit cards on GTA 5. They created a game so violent that it got banned in multiple countries, pulled off shelves, and even blamed for a murder case. So I'm going to tell you guys about the game so violent it's illegal in some countries.
You're the prey in a deadly game. You must do anything to survive.
When I was a kid, this game was nowhere, and the only things I ever saw it in were magazines and books. There was an aura of mystery surrounding it, and while I had GTA San Andreas, I could never get this. Everybody had GTA or Halo, but nobody had this. And every time that I tried to see if a store had it, they'd tell me the same things. Don't get your hopes up. So, what's this game even about? Well, the plot's pretty simple. You're a death row inmate. Sorry to break the news, man, you got convicted of tearing the illegal tag off the mattress. An inmate named James Earl Cash, who was supposed to be executed until a little money slipped into the pockets of the prison staff. They'd been bribed by a movie director named Lionel Starkweather to let you, an inmate, loose in a city filled to the brim with killers, psychopaths, gangs, and even skinheads. And you've got to make it out with your life, because every single one of them is after you. It's kind of like a big saw trap, but because you actually experienced it, the fear factor was way higher. And that was already enough to get it banned in quite a few places, but they decided to push it even further because, well, you can kill people. Okay, yeah, I know that's not all that crazy, but you can kill people in this game like nothing else. Yeah, now I got your attention, you twisted freak. So, what do they have in this Toys R Us of deadly weaponry? Chainsaws? Shotguns? Chicken wire? Yes. Luring someone to kill them with another person's head that you already previously killed. Go for it. If you're a communist, you can grab a sickle. Oh, and of course a hammer. An ice pick if you're an evil Alaskan. Plastic bags. Machetes. A baseball bat with spikes in it. Oh, and guns. A lot of guns. Now, at face value, this just sounds like a normal arsenal, but you get to gleefully use these weapons to perform Doom-style executions on people instead of demons. You play the role of a serial killer, not humanity's last hope, remember. Unless being a serial killer is your thing, in that case, seek help. I'll show you guys some of the particularly violent events of the game, because I know some of you are just tweaking to see it.
Yeah, gonna make you scream. Really, really loud, baby.
Oh yeah, and this one was just way too funny, so I had to keep this one in. The game's also got one of the eeriest villains ever in Pigsy. This guy is a giant chainsaw-wielding, pig-face-wearing, completely naked brick wall of a person whose conscience is likely held together by virtue of a half-eaten jar of sauerkraut and a carton of chocolate milk. He's a walking nightmare who's held into captivity by Starkweather after one too many times on set he was seen mentally deteriorating before everyone's eyes. You're really not you when you're hungry, damn. He remains chained up in Starkweather's estate for the player to eventually defeat as a boss throughout the story. Despite him being defeated, he remains one of the fan favorites, even being seen as an Easter egg in GTA San Andreas. Hey guys, you want to hear how many countries Manhunt was banned and censored in? Australia, Germany, Malaysia,
I blew up Malaysia.
New Zealand, Saudi Arabia, South Korea, Ireland, which is crazy because y'all blow up cars but y'all don't like gore in a game.
Margaret Thatcher's dead.
To top it all off, before it was 18 plus, during development it was even worse until they had to censor and remove some things that were so bad it would have been essentially banned outright. This also made it a massive target for a man named Jack Thompson. Now, this dude had to be likely the most hated thing by gamers ever at one point. And some of you might know who he is, but it's likely that he's just faded into obscurity at this point. He was an American activist and disbarred lawyer, which means that he had his license to practice law revoked. And before I start, that should tell you about how credible this guy is. Anyways, he had risen to fame in the 90s and early 2000s for a multitude of things like calling for the banning of an NWA album and getting the FCC to fine parody songs. Dude, I didn't know the Fun Police was in town. He was instrumental in making parents believe that video games were causing violence within adolescents, and even went as far to call Sony, the game company, Pearl Harbor 2. He just mad he sucks at Fortnite. He started extreme lawsuits, some charging up to $250 million. Yes, you heard that right. Over GTA 3, Vice City, Bully, and the important one here, Manhunt. Now, he had a million different reasons on why he wanted to sue Rockstar over this game, but I gotta show you the events that led up to this point before everything happened. February 26, 2004, 17-year-old Warren LeBlanc would lure a 14-year-old friend to a park in Leicester, England. Unknowingly, 14-year-old Stefan Pekira would be violently attacked by LeBlanc. LeBlanc made the case that he only intended to rob his victim, but instead panicked and stopped far past what would have ever been considered enough force in order for someone to submit. Pekira would unfortunately lose his life that day. Manhunt would be blamed for all of this. The parents of Pekira would draw parallels to the stealth killing aspect of the game. However, LeBlanc's defending attorney denied these claims and no evident connection to the game was made. Pekira's family would then bring Jack Thompson into the lawsuit against Sony and Rockstar, not only suing them for $50 million, but making an effort to ban them outright. The suit, however, would fall out when Take-Two Interactive would attempt to move the suit to a Florida courthouse, where U.S. law would apply. In the end, Thompson did not win, and Pekira's family would not receive just compensation for the events they had wrongfully suffered. All of these events make the game a piece of history, even if it is to blame for people believing that games cause violence. It's still surprisingly available on Steam. However, it doesn't function well and it hasn't been properly adapted to newer systems, but there are workarounds to it. And I don't condone piracy. I know that's going to be an issue for some people, but it has its risks. And if you do it wrong, you can get blacklisted from your internet provider. So I'm going to link the Steam page if anybody wants to try it out. I think if you're not squeamish and if you like survival horror or retro games, go give it a shot. So, until next time, see ya.